Well, hello and welcome
Hello.
to myOrganized.life Live, Friday, March
2nd.
2018.
Yes.
Wow. Time is flying by, and I'm John Hunt.
I'm Leanne Thompson.
And this is the show where we give you organizing tips, advice, questions and comments answered. And in fact, if you can give us a little shout out right now where you are watching from, go ahead and put that in the comments section. We'd love to hear where and see where people are watching from. Even if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and put it in, because we come back to the page and we'd like to just recognize you and know what's going on.
Right, it's fun.
Yeah, so today is Friday. It is
Blogger Roundup Day. This is kind of a popular segment. We've only done it once before, but it was popular last week.
It was popular with us, so therefore 100% of the people in this room thought it was an excellent idea. But basically what we do is we spend the week scouring blogs, websites around the internet, looking for the best articles, tips from whether it's professional organizer or not. I mean, today we happen to have a bunch from professional organizers. In fact, if you have a organization blog or one that you love to follow, put a shout out to it in the comments as well. We'd like to expand our horizons. We look at tons, but there's always ones that we don't know about.
Right. Yeah, it's fun to see new ones.
Yeah. So anyway, today, who's going to start out?
I think you're going to start.
Okay, I'm going to start out with, I get the privilege to talk about my friend Linda Samuels.
Linda Samuels.
She's got The Other Side of Organized is her blog. And this week on Monday, she actually released one called One Interesting Way to Use Mindfulness to Focus Change. And what the essence of this article is about is that everyone kind of gets overwhelmed.
Definitely.
Right? You get overwhelmed and you don't want to move forward. Or even if you have like an organizing system in place, it may have stopped working. So you kind of break down and it's like, you know, and none of us really like to go through change.
Right. It's hard for a lot of people.
Right? So we're going to change our system or not. I don't even want to think about that because I'm overwhelmed.
And you just cast it aside and forget
about it. So what Linda's talking about here is that it's not uncommon for us to go through our day on autopilot and not really think about what's going on. We're just going through the same.
Isn't that kind of? I just feel like that's all the time. I mean, you're driving to work and you get to work and it's like, gosh, did I drive here?
Was I even watching?
Was I even watching the road?
So
anyway,
and we know things like piles of clutter. They irritate us. You know, there's all kinds of situations where, you know, we get bugged. We have the system. We know the system. We know how to use the system, but we don't use the system because we're irritated and overwhelmed. But Linda talks about, she's proposing one simple tip, which is
only? Wow.
Only one.
Okay, I can handle that.
Mindfulness to help you focus. And so she gives an example of that. First of all, saying, okay, you're going through life. Be present in the moment.
Okay.
All right? And slow down. So
and take a deep breath.
And maybe instead of you know, ignoring your irritations, like, ugh, I can't believe I did that, take note of them. Because this is something where I'm in the present. I want to know what's going on. I want to be at least aware of what I'm doing.
Okay. Did she give an example?
Actually, she did.
Okay.
This is a great one. I can totally relate to this one, which is...
can't wait for this.
It says, let's say that every day you're about to leave the house and you can't find your keys. So each morning you go through this hunting for keys ritual. Okay.
Do you have that problem?
I have this problem, and I even have, and this is a perfect example because I have the system. We have the little key box, which is in the drawer by the exit. Okay, so fairly simple. You go to the drawer, pick up it.
They're not there. Where are they? Your jacket pocket?
They might be in my jacket pocket. They might be on a counter. Whoever was following this system didn't follow the system, so they weren't where they were at.
So she's telling you to be mindful.
Yep. And so you're annoyed and stressed. Have you ever been annoyed and stressed about losing your keys?
Yeah. Right? I think so.
It happens to me all the time. So consider this one small tweak, she says. Activate some mindfulness. Instead, the next time you're late getting out the door, notice what's going on. Start being present with the issue and be mindful of your actions. What are you feeling? What are you doing? And using that mindfulness to help you identify potential indicators for change.
Okay.
So I think I would. We're going to have links to these articles as well. So it's called "The Other Side of Organized." That's Linda Samuel's blog, and this particular article from Monday, February 26th. One interesting way to use mindfulness to focus change.
Great. Okay.
What did you find?
I found something from the Declutter Coach, our friend Deb Cabral.
Deb Cabral.
Yep.
Declutter Coach Deb.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
Declutter Coach
Deb. She
can
say it about twice as fast as us too.
She's got another one with a lot of energy.
Yes.
So this week she talks about it's aimed towards teens, but I think it'll go towards adults too. And a lot of our viewers, I think, probably have teenage kids.
Sure.
So organize your time.
Several of them.
What's that?
Several of them.
Yes, you have several. Organize your time and your room.
Okay.
So she talks about how a teenager is fun time, but it's also challenging. You've got sports, other activities, theater, homework, family, social media, everything. Trying to fit that all in just can be overwhelming.
What does she say? How do we get over this? Because I'm totally relating to this right now.
It's time to explore your own way to manage your life. So first on the list is keep a daily planner.
Okay.
And she says, keep everything out there. Write it down so you can see your time.
Yes.
This is popular with our friend Leslie Josell too.
Yes.
Seeing your time blocks. So if 8 to 9 in the morning is school, write school. Even though you know you have to be there, write it down.
Yeah.
If 5 to 6 at night is baseball practice, write it down. So then once those blocks get filled, you can see where you have time.
Right. Well, it's
white space. You can
my
see where
16-year-old just started using a planner.
Oh.
And it's one of those situations where, because now she's got some work, not working full time, obviously, but she's got school and she's got theater and she's got all these different things.
Yep.
So she has to, but she has it laying out and she can see it. So that visual thing is great. It's a great tip.
Yep.
Even if it's just a calendar.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Keep a to-do list. So if you have chores to do or homework, keep it on a list. So you, again, you can see when you have time to fit these in.
Right.
Determine your priorities.
Okay.
So if
you've got the list, maybe number them.
She says, let's see, make a list of your top 5. Then make sure you're spending your time accordingly, or according to what's on your list. If one of your priorities is improving your math grade, focus on your math. Instead of maybe cut out your social media for a half an hour and focus.
Well, we take with our kids, we kind of threaten them. Not really, but we take the list and say we're leaving for a few hours. Okay, here's your list of what you have to do, and here's the order. Check it off before you can get on social media.
That's a good one.
Then they get motivated. Oh, I'll blow through this list right away. I think people love that checking off.
I'm starting that with my 2.5-year-old.
Right.
She wants to watch the iPad in the morning, and I said, you can't watch the iPad until you're dressed.
Okay.
And that's a good way to help her and then help me get her out the door. Okay, so priorities are done. Let's see. Bedroom. Now we're going to the bedroom. Keeping it clean. Maybe if it's a huge mess.
That's a big task right there.
Yes, and it's if your teen is embarrassed about it, it's preventing him or her from having people over.
Right.
Try to declutter it, set up zones, and sort and put away.
Right.
So you want to get rid of stuff. If it's important to you, keep it. If it's not, maybe get rid of it.
Okay.
Set up zones. You have a sleep zone. Make sure that's clear. Your bed is free of debris and everything. A homework zone. Maybe create a little station for just your homework. Your dressing zone. Make sure your closet and everything is clear. And then a me zone, she calls it. So maybe display your trophies, your pictures. And I think this can go into adults too. I mean, sometimes our bedrooms get overwhelming, and so I think it's same principles apply.
Okay. Decluttercoachdeb.com.
Right.
And that's on her blog. Okay, we got one more for you here on Blogger Roundup from
Leslie Josell, who I just talked about.
Order OO Chaos, which is order out of chaos. OrderOOChaos.com. These are just 10 tips. We'll go through these kind of quickly.
Okay. For what?
To get your motivation going. So let's get motivated here.
Okay.
Number 1, motivation itself is actually not necessary. Believing we have to feel like doing something in order to actually do it can lead to not getting anything done. Sometimes if we just simply begin, we can become motivated. So you actually don't need to be motivated to get motivated. You just have to start.
And sometimes that triggers more motivation. Okay, number 2. Most would say picture the end result. So see yourself where you want to be. Reflect on where you've been and see how far you might have gotten.
I think that visualization is really big.
And it keeps you on track.
Yes.
So
Okay. Number 3, do the hardest or longest task first. We've talked about that before. You know, sometimes you get the big one out of the way, the big rock, and then you work on the medium and small rocks. But she's saying, especially students, the sense of accomplishment is really so rewarding in that situation.
I agree. Okay.
Number 4.
Build in rewards. Ooh. Frozen yogurt, anyone? Treating yourself after a job well done is a nice motivator.
Rewards work.
Yep.
Number 5, create deadlines, fake or real.
Okay.
Or, you know, build margin in and, you know, do those things where we got to get something done by a certain time. It's, you know, but, you know, back kind of to the scheduling thing for kids, you know, boy, when they have to work and they know they're getting paid for it, they get up and get going right away.
Right.
But when they don't have a schedule or a deadline, things just kind of go.
Yep. 6, work at your peak energy times.
Okay.
So whenever you feel energized, that's the time to work on it. If you're always tired at 2 in the afternoon, don't do any work.
Yeah, and I think you can take some time maybe setting up, like watch yourself for a couple weeks and take notes, and you'll find out. I mean, most people know when their downtime is, but all right, buddy up. I can't exercise without a partner. It is that simple. Identify what you need and call in the troops. Accountability is key, and I think, you know, that whole idea of working with someone on, because, you know, then you're also accountable to their schedule. It kind of fits in with the deadline thing, and it does help get things done. Don't rely on yourself.
Right. Okay, strip away the layers. What does this mean? The buildup or anticipation is usually worse than the task or situation itself. So when we get to the I don't want to's, I flip it upside down and say, don't do it because you have to, do it because you can.
Yes, I think that's a lot of that mental speak to herself as well. Number 9, it's good enough. It is. Don't be a perfectionist, although I know there are many that are. I'm not. So repeat after me. It's good enough. Nothing else to say here.
Okay.
Right?
Yep, that's good. Okay, number 10. Create energy around your tasks. And to do that, kind of your environment is key. Right? So
your whole situation.
Whether it's music or the room, just get yourself in an environment where
she says colorful office supplies. I like that.
Oh, okay.
Colored folders. You know, some people like using colored filing products just to cheer themselves up. So that's great. So anyway, we'd like to hear from you. What motivates you? Do you have any little tips, tricks, or hacks? Go ahead and put them in the comments right now. And that's the Blogger Roundup for March
today.
2nd.
Yeah, wow.
Right? And so next week, we've got a bunch of stuff coming up. Our podcast next week, we kind of promoted it earlier this week, thinking it was this week, but we made a little mistake. But it's actually coming up next Wednesday, and that's Julie Ulmer. It kind of ties into some of this stuff, too. It's how to deal with anxiety when you're trying to get organized. We have that. We have more solutions for you coming up next week. So you'll just have to tune in, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, right here on myOrganized.life live.